Hey there, you're with Tom and Fern. I'm Tom.
I'm Fern.
And we're going to get right to the chase. Fern, introduce our guest.
A great guest it is. Sarasota golfers know him around the area. Paul Azinger went to Sarasota High School, won 11 tournaments, and the biggest one being the 1993 PGA Championship, sudden death over Greg Norman. But right now he's the honorary chairman up at the Concession Cup up in Bradenton. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, Paul, why don't you just talk a little about the Concession Cup? This is the second one. It features amateurs from United States, England, and Ireland. Just talk about the competition, the golfing, and the spirit of competition in this event.
Well, yeah, it does pit Great Britain and Ireland against the United States, and it's amateurs from 25 and up, with a couple of super seniors in their 70s playing. But anyway, it's really the guys. I always say it's the best players that never turn pro. The level of play is incredible. It's anytime you get to showcase any age group that plays at the highest level, even watching the little juniors do the chip drive and putt contest there at the Masters, that was actually fun to watch. And so anyway, these guys are really good players. They played great there 2 years ago at Concession, a very hard golf course, a beautiful golf course. So the quality of play is legit, and they raise a lot of money for charity. There was a couple of bidders there the other night. They put up a lunch with Jack Nicklaus and a round of golf at the Bears Club, but not with Jack, for four. It went for $65,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's like 3 years of salary for Fern. So I mean,
exactly. But I deserve it.
So Paul, for these players who didn't go pro, is there some consistent reason that they remained amateurs, or is it just all over the place? These are all individual people with their own, different plights.
That's a question I really never thought about asking any of them, but I wish I did know the answer. Maybe none of them thought they were good enough. Or maybe they just decided to go with their education and not go with the grind. Playing golf for a living is pretty hard if you're not playing well. It can be really rewarding if you do play well, and it's still hard because you got to deal with the pressure and all that and expectations. So it's a tough lifestyle to be on the road. Maybe these guys just, the consistent factor in all of them is that they just didn't feel like living the lifestyle.
Hey, Paul, did a little background on you. I didn't realize you were born in Holyoke, Mass. I was born in New Bedford, Mass. And I just wanted to ask you, how does it feel to be the second greatest athlete behind Fran Healy from Holyoke? You know who Fran Healy is, right?
Heck no.
No, he was a backup catcher for the Yankees behind Thurman Munson.
Oh, was he? Oh, wow. Well, actually, I was born there,
right.
And we moved before I had teeth, I think. But, I'm 56 now, and I've lived in Florida for 52 years. So
right. Hey,
much a Florida boy.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, I got to ask you, when you played on the Sarasota High team, ironically, you weren't one of the top golfers, right? Were you like number 4 or 5? Explain that back in those days.
Yeah, well, in 10th grade, I was probably number 15 or 12 or something. And then 11th and 12th grade, I was in the top 5. But I was never the best player on the team. And I was never the worst player on the team. But I don't know, when I went to junior college at Brevard, everything started to change. Saw my swing on film or video and with sequence cameras and all that. And Jim Suddy was my golf coach at the time. He's incredible, 2-time teacher of the year. And that helped, and he introduced me to John Redmond, and John really carried me. But, I never broke 70 till my second year of college, really. Wow. And then about 6 years after that, I was a player of the year on tour. So it all happened so fast, physically. But then, in order for the, physical to work, I had to up my game mentally. And that's what you see the top players do. They go to another place. There's thousands of guys that hit it well. And my question to younger players is, what do you think is going to make you different? And I just feel it's the way they think. It's how you think. It's not what you're doing. No two swings have ever looked the same. It's not what you're thinking, it's how to think. And the best players figured out how to think and how to score.
So after, Jordan Spieth had that, I guess nothing short of a meltdown at the Masters, does that affect him moving forward? Is that a mental hurdle that he has to get over, or is he able just to go back to business as usual?
I think he's unique in that he probably will be just going right back to business as usual. You have to deal with the heartache, and of course that question was going to be asked. You know, he won't be over the Masters until he wins another major, I suppose. But I personally, I hate to call it a meltdown, but it kind of was, I guess, when you're 5 shots clear, bogeying 10 and 11. There's no shame in that, but you got to get that ball over that bunker on 12, and you just have to clear Race Creek. And he went a little too far right there, and 2 swings back to back, and he went from 1 ahead to 4 behind in an instant, and it was over just that fast. And to me, all the emphasis then was heaped on Danny Willett, and what's his name, Lee Westwood. Westwood just chipped in, looking right at the scoreboard, and when he made 3, that 7 went up of Jordan Spieth, and all of a sudden Willett and Westwood are walking to 16T with the lead. Or actually, Westwood was 1 behind Willett. And Willett performed, and Westwood let it get away. But it was over for Jordan that fast. And I personally felt like Jordan he put it behind him before he made the 4-footer. He got up and down out of a semi-buried for 7. Then he birdied 2 of the next 3 and could have easily birdied all 4. 14, he lacked just a yard to the right. That ball would have sped down the hill. And he missed the birdie opportunity on 16, and that ended his chances, really.
Hey.
But Jordan's a unique guy, and I personally think he was over it before he got to 13T.
Thanks.
Paul, I want to ask you, sort of dovetailing to that, your biggest moment was the 1993 PGA Championship over Greg Norman. Conversely, was your lowest point losing that British Open? You talked about maybe not closing it down the stretch. You had bogeys on 17 and 18. Do you revisit that at all in your mind, or is that so much in the past that you've forgotten about that pretty much?
Until you bring it up.
Until I bring it up.
Yeah. Well, I had up until right now. I called the British Open every year for 11 years. The last 11 years as the analyst, lead analyst. And so, yeah, I mean, I think about it all the time. It's gut-wrenching, but, you get over it. You just never forget it. I don't know that it affected my golf ever after that. I don't think. Maybe more determined or whatever, but I let a couple get away. The U.S. Open, I had the U.S. Open a couple times, and I felt like I could have won, but I didn't. And I finally got the PGA Championship. Thank goodness, right before I got sick, because I was never the same after that.
Right. Yeah. Well, as somebody who had cancer himself, I think you had non-Hodgkin's. A tremendous job beating that and putting that behind you, Paul.
Yeah, that was 6 months chemo, 5 weeks radiation, and it was really, it racks your body, and I just never played it as well after that for probably a bunch of different reasons, but I'm glad I got that major before I got sick, because I was hurting when I won that tournament. I had a monster year in '93, and getting the PGA was huge.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on a great career. We really appreciate you joining us, and good luck out there with the tournament at the concessions.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
All right, well, that was good.
I've never broken 70 in my life. I always have trouble with the windmill. I can never get the ball past the windmill. I know you have trouble with it, too.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to break 70 years old. That's my goal in life, to make it past 70.
Well, you're not that far away. You're about a 3-foot putt away, so.
All right,
well, that was nice of him to join. And again, concession cup, and what we should say, it's open to the public. It's free. So if you got some time on your hand and want to see some great amateur golf, go up there.
All right, thanks. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you, boys.
We'll see you guys.